Hello, I'm making a video. Last couple of days were hard. We were at the other house, decided to stop at the animal shelter on the way back to this house. So yesterday we went to the animal shelter. The moment I knew it was going to be harsh for me because I'm a dog mom. I'm hyper protective, brain, body, and when I see suffering, it's too much for me. I cannot take it, and I can't stand it at all. And obviously, it's obvious, when you see a dog who had been abused in the past, you see all the symptoms. You see they don't trust anyone. The hair is standing up on end. They are very, very nervous, full of tension, and they look at everyone with fear, and it is infinitely sad for me to see this. Infinitely sad. So I cried. We were there for about an hour, and I cried the entire time. I cried rivers, and I howled with the dogs. We howled at each other, howling and howling and howling. We walked from one kennel to the next, gave the dogs, Papa dogs, biscuits that he left behind. And there is one pity, a poor, poor pity, gray and white, and he is so afraid of everyone. I just howled and howled and howled. And also his bark was like he was standing there in his kennel looking at us. And he did this here with they have these very wide heads, and wide heads with short muzzle and wide jaw. And he lifted his head up on this real fat neck, real muscular dog, up in the air, and he went like, ah, ah, ah. And he kept on doing this with this real, like a quiet bark. Quiet because he's exhausted. Yeah, that's why. Exhausted. And I did not go close to the cage, to that kennel. My husband went over and gave him several of Papa Dog's biscuits, and he ate every one of them. He took them very gently through the wired kennel. And Paul went to see the other dogs, and I stayed there, just stayed a little bit back, but looking at him with love. And I said to him, I love you infinitely much, and I know it is infinitely sad what whoever was, whoever had custody over him, they were not nice to him. Yeah. And he was so afraid. He was so afraid of everyone. And then he would lift his head up and do this. Oh, that made me so sad. I can't stop thinking about him. That poor, poor, poor pity. Then I looked him up on the internet, and they said they neutered him, and during that procedure, they when they have full body anesthesia, they also removed a tumor. And Paul said he smelled sick. And I feel so infinitely sad. I feel so infinitely sorry for that poor, poor baby. Pity. I don't know how old he is. Poor, poor pity. I just wanted to share that in this video. I highly recommend to people to go look for a dog in animal shelters. Never buy from a pet store. They come from incredibly awful puppy mill batteries. It's like a mass business where they keep the dogs in small dark kennels. Many of them never get to see sunlight. It's a cruel business, okay? People need to understand that. And I highly recommend to people to never buy a dog from overseas or from far away where the dog has to be coming on an airplane. Just the other day, my husband told me about these mass puppy mill industries in the Ukraine. Horrific. And then they ship the dogs, and they ship them the same way they ship sheep, where when they ship sheep, they try to put as many sheep in those containers as possible. Many of them die in transport. Sometimes they are being transported. Many times they're transported to very far destinations. They come from, the sheep are bred in New Zealand and then shipped to the Middle East. It's a horrific, horrific crime. And they do that with a lot of dogs too. And just the other day, he got that petition trying to stop this, trying to stop the mass shipment of animals. Many dogs died. I think it was like 40 dogs in that airplane. And they died horrific death. It's horrific suffering. Never support that, okay? We need to find out where the animals are coming from. For anyone who wants to buy a sheep or a cow or pig, I highly recommend to people to drive to farms and pick them up themselves in a transporter that has space, and where they don't have to be alone, where they can have a friend for comfort. where they have food and water. And never, ever, never breed animals. Never slaughter animals. And when you buy a dog or adopt a dog, drive there. Drive to the ranch. Look at the ranch. Talk to the people. Let them show you the entire facility. If they don't want to do it, then don't look further into that business. Don't talk to them any further if they don't want to have a customer come to their ranch. If they're friendly, if they say yes, of course, come on over, we show you the facility, then do that. And then adopt the dog from them locally there. Or wherever they are in driving distance, where you can drive to. You can drive your van or car to them. And I recommend to people to go to their local animal shelters. And make sure that you have time for a dog. Never, ever tie up a dog. Never chain a dog. A dog is like a baby. Bring the dog into your house. Let him sleep in your bed with you. Okay. In the winter time, make sure they stay warm. Make sure they're covered with a blanket. Okay, you can check the ears. The earlobes indicate their body temperature. When the earlobes are cold, they need to be covered with a warm blanket. Okay, we always do that. Always touch your dogs gently. Always be kind and gentle. Always have water for them to drink at all times, fresh water. I recommend giving them dry dog food. That is dog food that is healthy. Good dog food that is ethical and healthy. PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, they have the good dog food on their website, the good dog food manufacturers, the ethical ones. Then they also have a list of bad ones to stay away from. So very important to look into all of these things. Very important. I cried and cried and cried. Yesterday also, after we left the animal shelter, I kept on crying and crying, basically all day long, deep into the night, praying to the infinite cosmos that all of those babies will find a good, loving mother or father. Okay, you guys take care. Bye-bye.